Now, as we are about to start, I will ask everybody that we all stand and we start singing the national anthem. So, sizocela umuntu with a strong voice, asiqalele yona. Shall we rise, please? Nkosi sikeleli Afrika. Thank you. You may be seated. Right. As I said, my name is Nomalanga Chacha. Mine is to see that we get through to this day. And I hope everybody enjoyed the tea and the coffee. Sorry, I'll try to be in the middle so that everybody can hear and see me. And I hope you enjoyed the welcoming coffee and tea this morning. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Business leaders, business people, tomorrow's owners of big conglomerates. We are here as GEP and the Department of Gauteng, Department of Economic Development, to welcome you to this summit, this dialogue, this engagement that we're going to have with you, because as GEP, one of our roles is to actually propel, we say we propel SMMEs and cooperatives into the mainstream economy. So this is one of the ways that we're using so that we make sure that we assist and help where we can so that the economy of Gauteng, with you, each and every one of you here, because I take it we are all, people that are here are all business leaders. You are all owning your businesses and you want your businesses to grow. So this is why we are here, so that we're able to assist in that. So without much, I will have to then call the first person that is going to give us an overview of why we are here and welcome you as well. That is going to be our acting CEO, Mrs. Leah Manenze.
Sanbonani? Abusheni. Bengizoziphonsa phansi bewezongibhadala, so I'm not going to do it. I think I must acknowledge, I know the MEC for Economic Development is on his way. He will be joining us shortly. So I need to acknowledge that he will be joining us shortly, as well as MEC Barbara Creasy will be coming in. And I'd like to welcome all the executives, the leaders of the various businesses, and the staff and everybody else who's here today. But of importance is all the ladies that are here. You are all welcome. As introduced, my name is Leah Wagwamanenje, and I'm the acting CEO for the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. I see a few gentlemen, so I think I would be unfair from Ababulisi Sanbonan Bokot. We hope that you are here to support your better house and be inspired by the work that they are doing. We are very excited to be amongst people who are visionaries and who are looking forward to creating good wealth for themselves. And we'd like to encourage you to participate as far as possible. We will have dialogues, and we expect that you'll all share your experiences so that we know how best to serve you as the future business leaders. I want to briefly share some of the discussions that we normally have with our entrepreneurs, because we normally have dialogues. Some of you would remember we hosted a Blunder Summit in this same venue a few months ago. And because sharing that will give you some sort of preamble of the discussions that you guys will have throughout the day today. But I'll be focusing on 3 areas. The first one being the importance of being able to anticipate the future. The second one is knowing when to work in your business and working on your business, because there is a serious difference between the two. And lastly, what GEP is offering to SMMEs and cooperatives, including the young women as you are here today. So before I speak of the importance of anticipating the future, I'd like us to just go through a quick video that will give you some idea of what you need to start thinking about. will you be ready when these type of changes happen as a business owner? I think you'd all recall at some point we were all using those telephones with a line and you need to dial somebody. Now everybody's using a smartphone. You can even take pictures. You don't no longer need to walk around with cameras. So these changes are happening and they're happening very rapidly. The question that will always remain is, are you ready? Is your business channeled such that when these changes happen, you are able to adapt and be able to compete with other people? For a business owner, for somebody who's in B&B business, as an example, when there's an increase in Muslim communities, what does that mean for you? Do you start stocking halal food? Do you change your infrastructure so that you can accommodate everybody, because you know you would need all these people who are now going to be tourists coming to the country? How ready are you? So those are some of the things that I'd like us to start thinking about as SMMEs, because they are important if your company is going to be sustainable and you're going to be able to generate more money than your competitors. At some point in around December 2014, MEC Maile used to encourage us to start looking at waterless car washing solutions. And I don't think at the time we understood the urgency of doing this. And now that there's water shortage and scarcity, I think all of us are now aware that we need to look at different options of saving water. Now you can imagine the person who came up with that creativity at the time and that innovation, what that means to their bottom line. Because now everybody's looking for alternatives to washing cars without really using the water, and that has now become a scarcity. You would have seen on the video that water at some point is going to be one of those scarce commodities. Whether we buy it now or later, it's entirely up to us. But as an entrepreneur, it means start thinking about solutions to water, whether it's recycling of water, whether it's cleaning, whether it's whatever. You have an opportunity to look at alternatives for us to solve our own current problems. In fact, one of the people who's done this is a gentleman called Ludwig Marishani from Limpopo. I'm making an example of a guy. I would have preferred using women, but I think it's more relevant in that it talks about water. He was chilling with a friend one of the days and realized, and they were talking about the importance of uhlapa, you know, to say what's office. You know, people get tired. I don't know why. But then they started thinking about, is there somebody who can create something that means ngageza without having to really go and shower using zipo? And this is where the idea came to this guy called Ludwig. He then thought about this very hard. Remembered, there's things like hand sanitizers that we use. I need to now walk around with those. Wet wipes. And he's now invented something that's called dry wash. And before they got to this point, they started asking each other, who would buy waterless-based solution of geza? But then people like soldiers, Mabesempini, they don't have time to go and take a shower in a bath. People, when they are destitute, for example, if there's fires, kumasheks, when people are being housed in community centers, what do they do? Where do they bath? Have we ever asked ourselves these questions? They started thinking about people who are traveling long distance. If you have been in a flight, you know. By the time you land, you feel like, you know. So if there was a better solution to say, we are gobis and this lotion and you are fresh, I'm sure everybody would go for it. At that point, then they realized, okay, there can actually be a market for this. And that's why today we have something that's called dry bath. A lot of people are trying to buy this product from him, international, India and the rest. They're not selling it at this stage because they're still trying to get a market land. And for us, it's difficult. I mean, if you're going to test it, you know, we must still get used to the idea first before we start implementing it fully. But it's creativity like that. And now think about it, we have water shortage issue. The dry bathing might be something of the future. Soon, ngeke usathatha 10 minutes ukugeza. Labantu abathatha hour lonke nilwe bathroom ukuthi umuntu akaphumi. Cabanga. Uzishange ejele nje kamereni. Agqoke ayemsebenzini. So that much of creativity is important for you guys, because if you have a business, a bigger business, you understand that your biggest challenge becomes agility, flexibility, because once you've got lots of assets and things change, for example, people in the trucking industry, people who work in cinemas, if you've been to the movie lately, you realize it's now a common. You now go there, you buy your own ticket using a card. And then when you want popcorn to go pay there, you just take the slip, you're collecting those. Things are changing very, very fast. If you have big business, your biggest problem would always be agility. How do you convert the assets that you have so that they talk to the newest, latest technology? If you're a small business, it's better. You know how we all start up, ne? People come back to uzothenga amagwinya wathengise, but you say come back tomorrow. From tomorrow you now start selling fat cakes, and then the next day omunye ufika athi, you know, sifuna abantu ababuilda i-concrete. You then say no, uze kusasa siyayibuilda nayo. You know, when you're a small business, you still have the flexibility of just, you know, chopping and changing until you find that thing that you like. That is very important, especially with the moving technologies that we have. The second thing that I wanted to speak to you about is when do you make a distinction between working in your business and working on your business? Now, most of us would have started our businesses because you had some sort of natural talent, whether you were a hairdresser or ukwazi ukupheka, or you are very creative, you come up with all the stunning ideas that you can sell to big corporates and they pay you for it. And that is why, as part of the interventions that we're doing, is we have developed a product where we will create access to internet for our SMMEs. The same report at GCRO says lots of entrepreneurs don't have access to internet, and we take it for granted ukuthi abantu banama-smartphone, therefore bane-data, therefore bayakhona ukugugula. But the idea is, how do we then bring learning to you? Whether we use e-learning as a tool so that people get information all the time, or we get people coming to visit you on an ongoing basis. But also, how do you get access to opportunities that are available in government? You would know the government has set aside 30% for SMMEs. But nizowathola kanjani if you don't have access? You'll never see. And the same report at GCRO talks about how many people don't know about ama services ka government. And we always find this amazing to say, "Kon muntu otakazi ukuthi you can go to government and seek funding." But those are facts that are there, according to the survey, the research that was done, to say a lot of people in Gauteng don't even know. And interestingly enough, a lot of people that are doing business here don't originate like Gauteng. You have people from Bolimpopo, Kaikai, running their businesses. It's always good. But women need to be encouraged to participate in business, especially ngoba siyazi ukuthi we're very focused on, we are very detailed orientated. We nurture the businesses that we have. They are more sustainable compared to labanye abantu abangekho lana today. Ngoba thina sinama issue bless abantu or anything like that. Okay, no, that's not the issue. But the reality is that we do tend to do well. But some of the biggest challenges with women is that because of the nurturing nature scenario, we also tend to be too kind to a disadvantage. Umakhelwane uzongena lathi umntana kadlanga nawe umama uyacabanga ngicela ungiboleke bese uyamnika usayithola back imali yakho. Biza umuntu uyaza athi hey ngiya ku interview hairstyle quickly uyamenza mayengakubhadala kutshela ukuthi anguthola ngomsebenzi, what do you do? Uyaqhubeka with your life. So, and we've got a lot of responsibilities. Most of us, you find with our businesses, you're not only funding yourself or taking care of your own needs, but you've got family behind you that you must take care of. So if you're going to measure the profits that our entrepreneurs make compared to other people, we tend to make less because of the responsibilities as nazo. But I think at the end, what will make you, what will distinguish a good entrepreneur, kwabanye abantu, is the creativity, the innovation. We've spoken a lot about the changes that are happening. We've spoken a lot about the importance of being unique and developing those products that are meant to solve some of the social issues that we have, because people who've really made money are people who have developed those products that have become very important for the society or the community that they come from. So in closing, I'd like to say to you guys all the best with the discussion today. And I'm hoping that you will engage us fully, because it's important that we understand where your biggest challenges are sitting. We are partnering with a lot of people because we've realized GEP on its own does not have sufficient funding to give you money. I'm sure you've come to our GEP offices, you'll apply for funding. Unfortunately, we've got very limited budgets, but we are working with strategic partners and other funding institutions so that we can fund as many people as possible. Okunye futhi is that we are emphasizing the importance of hand-holding. Nokunisiza ukuthi nibe bankable. The only reason why other funding institutions don't give funding is because ama criteria wabo our fund nawethu. If you're a startup, they'd want a 2-year financial statement, ama references, etc., which you might not have as a startup. But as GP, that is why we are focusing on those areas where we're saying, let us help you, hold your hand and get you to that point where Masibusa is Standard Bank tomorrow. They'll be happy to fund you. So we'll be focusing in those areas. But the other thing that we've done is a product called Bridging Finance. So if you get a purchase order tomorrow from any of the departments, you will hear various speakers from our department about health, about education and the likes. Once you get a purchase order or an offtake, we are more than happy to service you. In fact, turnaround time here is 14 days from the time we apply, especially if you've got a e-order that you must service, so that we can give you cash flow, uzokwazi ukuthenga the material and service whatever contract or purchase order that you have. So those that have got such orders on hand, please come and visit our offices. We have 7 regional offices as well as 3 satellite offices in Gauteng. If you visit our website, you'll be able to get the exact addresses based on areas that you're closest to. But we also have realized that GP has been struggling a lot with being responsive. A lot of people complain, "Good ababamba ma phone, ni apply, you don't get feedback." We now have a call center, phonela, to follow up with ama issues wenu and to track ukuthi how far your applications are. In number yakona at 011 085 2000. So you'll be able to phone that number, bakwazi nokukunikeza i-reference number so that we can track whether you're getting assistance. So it's 011 085 2000. And then if you do not get satisfaction there, we also have an escalation email where you send an email, give us details of those people abangakuservisi kahle. Because all of us are active public servants, we are supposed to give you that level of service where you can, you get respect and you are treated professionally. The email address is gepenquiries@gep.co.za. That's gepenquiries@gep.co.za. Okay. With that said, thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting CEO Maninze. Nizizwele that opportunities are there. I think for me, the main text is also one of the reasons why we're here, connecting, networking. So connecting whether you are online or connected in the communication space, or as well as connecting nabanye abantu, networking with other people that are in business. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to welcome MEC Maile, who is with us at the moment. Welcome, MEC. Thank you. So, thank you. We are moving along in the program here too. At this stage, I would like to call upon a person. She is a business owner in her own right, and she is the current winner of the, she's the current winner of 2016, all right, in the women's section of the Township Entrepreneurship Awards. I hope everybody who has a Township Entrepreneurship Awards, and I'm expecting that most of you here would have already sent in your applications to go into that program as well. So umuntu currently that is holding that role at the moment, Mama Ushila Sikitla. She is a business owner in her own right. She owns the View Guest House, Isetembisa. We could ngama township businesses, and she owns a business in the township, ne? And Ngizombiza as on stage, Mama Ushila Sikitla. If you can please give her a warm welcome.
Good morning, ladies. I hope we've got gentlemen as well. Ladies, you look stunning. As women in business, be it as leaders, managers, or as entrepreneurs, we have the responsibility as a role model to address the economic challenges that South Africa faces, in particular, inequality and the lack of transformation. It is an undisputed fact that entrepreneurship and innovation is the core driver of wealth creation. Prosperity and growth, small business development is the key factor. It is the bedrock on which the South African economy system is based. No economy can truly thrive without the entrepreneurial creators, enablers, and implementers as the major component of its strategic focus. Remember, the smallest spark ignites the fire that lies deep inside you. And suddenly, everything is possible. Which is why I'm so passionate and happy to be a part of this business breakfast networking session, so as to brief all of you on the outstanding, proactive, and groundbreaking Township Entrepreneur Awards and its ramification as a cutting-edge economic growth program under the leadership of the MEC of Gauteng Department of Economic Development, Ntate Maile, and as a catalyst to accelerate, ignite, and support township-based economic growth opportunities and the formation of Center of Excellence and derive from creativity in action. As future captain of industries, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs, I have always felt that in response to the age-old question, are all entrepreneurs born or are they created by circumstances? There are just two factors that need to be considered in unpacking the answer to these questions. Number one, passion, passion, passion. Without passion for what they do, passion for what they create, and passion for people and the community, no one can ever be considered a successful entrepreneur. As there is no place for negativity in the field of entrepreneurship. Number two, we have to take action. Action, action, action. Without the ability to take action immediately, without the ability to take action in the face of adversity, without the ability to take action decisively, no one can be considered an entrepreneur. There is simply no room for procrastination. The true entrepreneur takes action with passion, no matter what. As the T, or Township Entrepreneur Award, inaugural Women Entrepreneur of the year 2016, my achievement did not occur overnight. It took years of hard work, perseverance, dedication, belief in my potential, and of course, passion to realize my dreams and aspirations. This achievement did not occur without the support, encouragement, help, and advice from others, which is why the T program is so important in empowering small businesses, especially women, and entrepreneurs in addressing the challenges and obstacles that they face on a daily basis. The template, roadmap, and motivation that the Township Entrepreneur Awards provides can never be underestimated. Its power to generate inspiration is without measure. As Oprah Winfrey is fond of saying, "You go, girls." As a successful businesswoman, I have learned from experience. You can always up your game and develop exponentially. Ladies, forget about thinking outside the box. Rather concentrate on expanding your thinking within multiple boxes. For instance, You need continuous learning. You need innovation, inspiration, knowledge management, data mining, interdisciplinary skill matrix, impact assessment and risk analysis. In other words, multiple boxes as areas of expertise as entrepreneurs. In fact, it can be said that with courage and conviction, a persistent approach will always triumph over the prevailing circumstances. The View Guest House and Conference Center is a prime example and can serve as a case study on the growth and development impact of the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller's Core T program. Since winning the award and prize of 400,000 rand. This multi-award winning 4-star accommodation services has provided the following. We created 3 full-time employment opportunities. We underwent a refurbishment of our facility, rebuilt and renewed 2 en-suite luxury accommodation units. You can visit and see those units. It's because of the T Awards. Growing sales and turnover by 15% month to month. We have secured a full-time tenant, a community-based business association for our newly developed office facilities. Being able to expand and continue our corporate social investment within various NGOs. Our ongoing business growth has directly benefited the local community via increased procurement opportunities. A benefit for one is, after all, benefit for everyone. And our neighborhood has attracted foreign direct investment in the establishment of a brand new private hospital, Landmed, just next door, the guest house, and infrastructure upgrades and service delivery. As motivation for your personal and business development, I wish to emphasize that you need to take action. Be proactive, be passionate, be creative, be innovative, be ignited, and remember the wise word of Peter Drucker, father of modern marketing. Innovation is the specific instrument of true entrepreneurship, the one activity that endows resources with a new and enhanced capacity to create wealth. A well-known proverb states, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. A partnership with government support structures works wonders. I thank you.
Wow. That is the work of umuntu on a passion. You could just tell, because passion, the word passion, angazi ikhulume kangaki in her speech. Uthi passion, 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 action, action, action. Siyabonga, Mam Sheila. Thank you very much. Now, with that, those inspiring words, I just want to maybe I'm just going to open Tungapa and Tungap, just 2 comments of people that maybe, whether you are in the line of business that she's in, or in another line of business, just to have some comments on what she has said, just a reflection on what she has just told us. And because this is a lesson, okay? This is a lesson to all of us, and we learn by seeing other people doing things. So maybe this is an example of somebody that can be just passionate to be ignited. Just some 2 comments. Can I see a show of hands? Two comments. If not, oh, here one. Oh, thank you. Who's the sugar to one?
Nokanyo Yolwa, I'm new in this agriculture business, but before I'm passionate about empowering young girls and women, especially in where I come from. I'd like to congratulate Umama on winning the award, and she spoke something about we could visit the guest house, but didn't assist us on how to locate them. Can you please assist? Where do we get the guest house? We might need a night soon, so please.
Thank you. Usatembisa will give the details, Master Talana. I need to say there's going to be networking. See a network after this. I need so that you get to know other people in your business. Yes, thanks.
Everyone, Mama, you really inspired me. At the present moment, we're currently building at home for B&B, and I've just started my traveling agency right now. So where you are right now, it's like to me, I'm still thinking that tomorrow I'll also stand like that and say all the words that you've just said. You really inspired me, and especially at your age, because of most of the people, especially elder people, they normally give up and they say, I'm an old woman now, I can't do this and that. But then at your age, I'm with my mom now, she's 62 years of age, and we started the B&B together, and you really inspiring us. And I just told her that that's your twin sister there. Whatever she says, just take those steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. But your age is just a number, ne? So don't let age, oh, there's another person there. Don't let age, stand in your ways. Thanks, yes.
Sanmonani Umandisa Gaba from Etembisa, a hospital view, where the View Guest House is located. And for as long as I can remember, the guest house has been there. And I would like to congratulate you, Mama, for the work that you're doing, for being a positive role model to young women, to business people in Tembisa. I've seen your guest house on TV numerous times. You've been doing it, you've been making a success of it. And congratulations once again. And let's just partner up and build Tembisa and build the township economy and build the hospitality industry.
Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much. As we are moving along on this high note of inspiration, seeing what other people are doing and learning from what other people are doing. This is a dialogue with young women in business. So young women in business, but kunabo baba in business as well, especially namhlanje, because information is good for everybody. Everybody wants to grow their businesses. Sifuna ukubona amashishini aqhubekile, azoqasha abantu, kungabi kuzo imisebenzi ibe khona, abantu bathola imisebenzi, besebenza kuphi emalokishini wethu. Now, at this time, as it's moving a program, I would like to call upon MEC wetu, MEC Lebogang Maile, who is the MEC of Gauteng Department of Economic Development, Agriculture and Environment, to come and give us the address. Thank you, MEC.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me start by maybe checking amongst yourselves who was at the meeting which was convened by the Premier in Tirisano with the young people. That was at, I think, Bedshoot. Who was there amongst yourselves? It seems there's fewer people who were in that meeting. It was this engagement, this outcome of that meeting, if you remember. Because we had a discussion in the commission, which was dealing with young women, young people who are in business and who are professionals. So we then agreed that we must have a further discussion with young women. So we agreed in that meeting, not because we don't talk to older women or we don't talk to men, we do, but there was just a specific reason why we had to. Hence, we have this discussion today. And in that meeting, we also said that we want those who are in business. So we don't want people who are still saying, I have an idea, this and that. We want young people who are in business, who are running their businesses. That was the intention today, to have a discussion with people who are running their businesses so that we are able to, because we don't want to just call you and we deliver speeches. This is not a rally, it's different. It's called, that's why it's called a dialogue. And that's why I don't have a speech, because we want to have a discussion with you to understand what are the challenges facing you in running your businesses. How can we work together? We don't want a session of people complaining and pointing fingers. We didn't get this from that, and it's not that session. And that's why we said we want people who are running businesses, and we will bring it here. And that's why we haven't organized. I hope we haven't organized any transport for anyone, because the reason we want people who are in business can transport themselves. So even if your business is not doing well, because the first problem is you'll end up having a lot of people here who are not even in business, who want houses, who want this and that. I can't give people houses. So there's a department that deals with houses. I think that department will then convene people who want houses so that they get houses. Then if there's a problem with your bill of municipality, the municipality will, well, this one it's for those of you who are in business who must help us as government to understand better. Because we might be sitting where we are sitting and thinking that everything that we are doing is working. We might be sitting and thinking that we are doing more than enough. And only to find that no, whatever that we are doing does not have an impact. I'm sure you heard the story some shade. Her business growing, and it's a business that she built from when 1994. Yeah, she started that business in 1994. It's not a business that came up just recently because she knew somebody in government and all that. We don't want people who think that the only way to build business is just through connections, in government. MEC, can you please, I've put an application in the G, can you please talk to them? No. They must look at your application based on merit and say it works or it doesn't work. I know there is nobody who will say their ideas are not brilliant. Everybody who has a business plan, they believe that their idea is brilliant and it must be funded. And because we voted for this government, they must fund us. So you've got people who say that no, we voted, but you don't want to give us money. And the CEO of the GP was explaining that there are limited resources. Because money, it's a problem. If I was to ask in this house, who wants money? Everybody wants money. Whether your business is running or not, you always need injection into your business. Umamshila was saying the business has now grown. She gave us the numbers, the percentages. And if we can ask her now if she still wants money, she'll certainly say yes. She won't say, no, it's enough. I've won the 400,000. Everybody, and that's a problem because money, it's not easily accessible. And it doesn't matter how brilliant you are, how innovative and creative you may be. If you can't finance your ideas, then there will be a problem. And it's one of the areas that I want this to have a discussion on. What do you think we need to do? Because we have done few things ourselves as the Gauteng government. Yes, we've got the GEP. It's not going to be enough. We have mooted, I think on the 20th of October, the Premier will be launching the first township stock exchange. That is because we have realized that there's a lot of money in our townships, by the way. The township economy alone is estimated to be worth 100 billion. But the money is not circulating amongst the people there because of the, I think when there's time, some other day we'll have a discussion about the structure of our economy, how our economy is structured, because the monopoly, the big companies, they own the value chain from beginning to end. And if you look at our townships, we just consume. And we are just a place where big companies come and dump their products and all that. We all want to have a chisanya, but we never think who processes the meat, who owns the livestock and all that. We are not interested in that. We all want to do the same thing, want to have a chisanyama. And I'm not saying it's not important to have a chisanya, but I'm saying we need to start thinking about the productive and manufacturing capacity of our economies, so that we don't just go into business just to sell other people's goods. We must start inventing things and support each other. So the issue of finance is very important. It's very important because if you look at, I don't know how many of you here are in the stockfels and burial societies. I know some of you, because you're still young, you don't go to stockfels anymore and burial societies. You just go to Old Mutual and you pay every month and all that. But if you look at that money in the townships, but I think this is a figure which is it's national. That industry is worth about 70 billion rands. So we complain that we don't have money. We complain, and these are monies that comes from us, by the way. 70 billion, 100 billion, these are monies that come from our people. So the issue is, the little that we have, how do we utilize it? The little that we have, how do we use it to try and grow it and work differently? Because the other problem is the mindset. We don't support each other. We don't believe that we can start our own banks. If you go to Lodiam, they've got their own bank there. It's an Indian bank. It's owned by Indians there. It's their bank, and they borrow each other money and help each other. But we don't think about doing those things. What we think about is how do I get a tender? Well, there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong, because government is the biggest procurer of goods. And in fact, even people who continue to benefit from government, it's big companies, by the way, big white companies. So we shouldn't be blackmailed into being called tenderpreneurs and all that. Because you look at corruption, when they say, construction, when they say they want CIDB, level 9. They're talking about Group 5, Greneka. They're talking about all big white companies. So you shouldn't be blackmailed and be made to feel guilty when you must do work with government. The only thing is don't engage yourself in corrupt activities. Because I know there are people who will say, no, if you give me this much, I'll give you this much. There are people who will even say, if we give you funding, there are cases we're dealing with, we can give you this much, don't worry, we'll write off your funding and all that. Don't listen to such things because you will end up in trouble. But you must know, and that is why in government, in Gauteng, we've decided, because we know corruption is there and it's real. That is why we've decided that we can't be seen to be talking about encouraging people to do a clean business and all that, but we don't do anything about it. So, because we no longer want to be called by people who want government contracts, we decided that we're going to have an open tender system. So it's open from the beginning to end. There will be an external auditor who will look at all the specifications, everything. When you see a tender, you'll even be told when is it opening, when is it closing. You will go when they evaluate, and you will know why you didn't get. So there's no reason. You don't have to hide anything. That way, only the best business brains will win and do work with government, and it will help us. So we thought that today we should have this session with yourselves so that we hear more from you rather than you hearing from us, because I can tell you about the open tender here, that 30% of our procurement is going to be through township-based entrepreneurs, 30% must be through women. But as long as you have not experienced all that, it doesn't mean anything to you. So we want you to tell us, are these opportunities really reaching you? If not, what is the problem in your view? And how should we deal with this problem? Because from where we are sitting, we might be thinking that we know what is the problem, and whatever that we do, our actions are based on trying to solve what we think is a problem. But we might be solving a wrong problem. And that is why it's important that we have this discussion with yourself so that we are able to resolve it. And that is where I end, because I want us to have a session, have more of you rising and contributing into what should happen. Program Director, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. So as MEC says, this is going to be a dialogue. We invited people here for a dialogue, so this is what we're going to have. Maybe before we start, we will just need to call upon the following people to come on stage. Miss Usispeli Sankomo, if she can please come up on stage. And Mr. Stenjwa Ngobo to come up as well. No Tebuho Mopani, if they can please come up on stage. As they're coming up, what I'll do at this time, I will just hand over to a person that's going to lead the dialogue for us and sort of do the introduction and take us forward. That is Ubabra Ziane.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Yes, indeed, this is a dialogue because I'm sure this is an opportunity where we get to interact both as government and as the entrepreneurs. It's an opportunity for us to get to understand the issues on the ground, because they normally say in most cases we sit in our high offices and we get not to interact with people on the ground, but just also to correct that, it's not true. I mean, for example, through this program of Interesano, we have always been going out there to communities to get to understand what are the issues. Yes, MEC is right. I was just a bit surprised when he asked those who attended the other session at Birchwood Hotel, the one that was hosted by the Premier. I saw quite few hands because I was hoping that because it's a follow-up, most of those who attended that session would form part of this one. So, but nonetheless, we'll continue with the program. So yes, the most important thing to understand is that what is being said here today is not just a talk shop, it's not just a talk show. There are programs that we put in place as government to make sure that we implement, everything that you tell us here, amongst others being to inform policy, being to tweak our interventions that we recommend for the Gauteng provincial government to implement in order to support entrepreneurship. So this is really a very important session. But also, I just wanted to touch on something. When GAP, the CEO of GAP, made a presentation, one of the concerns that she raised was to say that women, in most cases, are found in the informal economy. Yes, as a provincial government, we do have the program for the informal economy. We do have the interventions that we are currently implementing for the sector. We do have a strategy in place for the sector, which is all well and good. But the most important thing is that we need to think sustainability. We need to think forward, think sustainability. We would like to see as a vision, to see black women industrialists prospering in the productive sector, in the manufacturing sector. Hence, for example, one of the reasons GAP has decided to, refocus its main programs to support more of the manufacturing businesses or entrepreneurs. And hence, nationally, as you know, you have legislation such as, for example, the BEE Act having been amended, having the codes of good practice being revised, and having now they are currently revising the PFA legislation. Basically to address that, as we know now, currently there's a concern that PFA does not talk to BEE. So these are some of the initiatives that are being put in place to ensure that the environment to support black entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship is conducive so that you can be able to thrive. And also to thank Umama for being a very good role model, to say that there is success out there, with passion. Because there's one thing that we've learned, especially for the youth of today. The youth of today, there's this word in Siswati that they normally use, nyalo. So they want things to happen now. Things must happen now. Unfortunately, you have to persevere. You have to work hard. It's so disturbing to see that wanting things to happen today, it's mainly the downfall of most of the youth today because they're just not patient. You need to be patient. Patience. But also networking and working harder. At the provincial level, just high level, I'm sure that this program has been, well announced. I think it has been communicated, it has been properly marketed. There's no one who does not know about the 10-pillar program of the Gauteng provincial economy, the TMR. There is no one who does not know about it. Is there anyone who does not know about the TMR and which gave birth to the township revitalization strategy? Let me see. Who? I don't want to keep this a long conversation, but everything that we do, especially the township revitalization program, especially in the township, we're guided by the so-called the township revitalization strategy. The Gauteng township procurement strategy we've had, the MEC talking about the 30% of procurement which has been set aside for township procurement, or for procuring by the state for procuring in the townships. That's actually an exciting program because here the state is literally saying to you, if you are an entrepreneur and if you are producing these particular products, we can procure from you because we want to support you. That's another way in which, as a public sector, promoting, parallel value chains, ensuring that black people own productive assets in the townships. That becomes very important. The Gauteng broad-based black economic empowerment framework and the Gauteng informal business sector strategy, those are the critical empowerment strategies that we're currently utilizing with recommended implementation that we're currently utilizing as key levers to support, township businesses out there. And also the most important thing is these legislations seek to support not only just women, seek to support people with disability and also military veterans. We have set targets, high-level targets, under, for example, the broad-based black economic empowerment legislation that we seek to achieve by 2020. Amongst them, I will just end there. 80% of total procurement, it must be from BBB enterprises with equitable gender participation, and 30% of that, it should go to women, 20% on macro enterprises with equitable gender participation, 75% on South African manufactured products. So this then becomes very important to utilize the township revitalization program as a lever, because as the state will identify products to say, if you're producing this particular product, these are the products, by the way, that we're buying mostly. As you know, that we're the biggest procurer. So if you procure these particular products, we will be able to procure from you 3% of people with disability and 1% for military veterans. So the 30% is the localized procurement that we've set ourselves as a target to achieve or to procure from the township. So that, in a way, it gives you access to market. We give you access to market. Yes, challenges are there. Previous speakers, including our MEC, have basically indicated that we know and we are aware, even GAP said so. GAP is an institution that is responsible for providing financial and non-financial support to enterprises. However, they're still facing challenges in terms of their funding. While doing so, they partner with other institutions to ensure that they support. So the challenge of lack of funding, it has always been there. But then it becomes very important to utilize other platforms to be able to ensure that you get and you garner relevant support. So in those few words, I would like really to say, we are here to listen to you, and whatever input, whatever contribution that you are making, that you'll be making, it will not go in vain. It's a contribution that will be taken seriously, and I'm sure as a way forward, the MEC will then provide direction in terms of going forward after this particular dialogue, then what is going to happen. So we are really willing to listen to you and to listen to yourselves. So with our panelists that are sitting here in front, we will all be taking note of all your concerns. So I'm sure the program director will now come in front to continue with the dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barbara. What's going to happen now, we've got the panelists here. You've already heard from Usis Barbara, you've already heard from Mam Sheila, you've already heard from MEC, and I'll give over to Usis Pelisa just to say a few words, Njenaye, and then what... All right, I've been redirected. So what we'll do now, Sinama roving mics, what we'll do, we'll take questions so that then we're starting the dialogue. Now we'll just go straight into getting questions from you, comments, questions. There are roving mics so that we will just, maybe Abantba raises hand and then we will note the hands and then the mics can start roving. So we'll ask the questions to the panel. So if there's information that you need, what you want to ask and all that. So we're starting now, thank you. I will note, let me start. That hand was first, yes. The lady there. There's one, one there, two Usisi Lapayana, three Usisi Lana, and 4. So this is the 4 from this side. And then I will note from this side. Sizothatha 4 nanathi. Right at the back. Where are you at? And I'm going to reference the lady there when I am with the t-shirt. And then with the yes, when I also saw 3 and then 4 yes. Thank you. Thank you. We can start. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just waiting for you to just get there. I did not get where Sis Barbara is coming from. I just needed to ask a question.
Okay. Oh, can we please have your name?
Yes.
Please, before
My name is
say something, can you please introduce yourself, your name, surname, and the organization that you are representing, if you are representing an organization. Thank you.
all right. Thank you. Representing Grounded Partners. We are basically a green economy community-based program where we're just upskilling and giving skills to ex-offenders, parolees. We've actually just signed an MOU with the Department of Correctional Services. But it has been quite a challenge for us to get funding to start because we actually have already started, but we're just really desperately looking for funding. Now I understand that you spoke about township revitalization program, which I believe this is also part of that because nobody really, well, maybe people do consider there are people that are coming out of prisons,
Can we please get technical assistance?
Thank you. So we have people, parolees, ex-offenders, people that are waiting to come out, and what do they do when they go out? And if you really look at the root cause of them being in prisons in the first place, is poverty, is a lack of having something to do, or lack of skills. So we do impartation on the skills and education on these people, on renewable energies and everything. So I want to find out, would we be able to partake in this township revitalization program? Because you mentioned 3 categories only, and this group is not part of them. Thank you.
Can we have the next?
Good day, I am Mandisa Gaba. I am the CEO of Manda Africa Group. We are a Shake Systems implementation company. We've been around for about a year right now. My concern is as the GP and other agencies fund and help small businesses and SMEs, and as we look towards black industrialization, I feel that there isn't enough of an emphasis on quality management systems and occupational health and safety and things like that, that will put small businesses a cut above the rest, that will differentiate them, that will enable them to compete, to make their products competitive internationally, your ISO 9000 accreditation and things like that. I feel that one of the reasons we don't support one another in the black economy and in the township economy is that we have an issue with quality. We don't have the quality of assurance of the products that are created in our communities. We don't have the quality assurance of the service. We always complaining about we don't deliver. Service delivery was late and the quality of the product wasn't up to par. And as a result, you get people that then go to these big companies. There are a lot of people that want to start construction companies. They don't have safety files. They don't have the correct PPE for their employees. Those are the kind of groundwork things that your company should be built upon. And if you don't have that, and if that's not even it's not important to these agencies that are helping small businesses grow, then I feel that they're just doing an injustice to small businesses. So I just think that as you help the GP and other agencies, as you help small businesses grow, it's very, very important. As you develop industrialists, it's very, very important to make sure that the occupational health and safety and the quality standards, your environmental standards, they're not even SABS, you know, they are ISO, they are top of the range, they are competitive. So we're able to export, so that we're able to compete with these big companies that we keep complaining about, because they have it and they're able to compete based on that. Thank you.
Quality assurance being the main issue, I would like to believe that this is part of the non-financial support which is provided by our sister agency GAP. However, they will talk to that issue. Can we have the next speaker?
Good day to you all. Firstly, I would like to thank the MEC and your young team for the invitation here today. When I got it, it was quite late. And, you know, I was very happy.
Your name, please?
My name is Ntombi Machoba from Machoba Communications and Consulting. We're very small, we do strategic thinking, you know, planning, we help people to refocus their businesses, etc. As I was saying, that when I got the invitation, it was quite late and at night, and I was very happy. I immediately went and spoke with my ancestral grandmothers and prayed and said to them, I hope they will be here today when I come, because I come from a very strong lineage of women who were farmers. We had a farm in the Eastern Cape, I think it's in Kirkwood, which was taken away from us. And I came here because we still have not gotten our farm back. We are still in that process. And I am hoping that as I now work with herbs, I make my own essential oils, which simply means I still must go and buy rosemary, you know, all these herbs from Food Lovers Market or somewhere. I need to know if there are opportunities in urban farming where we can, you know, raise our own herbs so that we're able to make these oils, because I have discovered that they help. We don't have to go to doctors. You use, I'm fortunate to have some lavender that I can use and make lavender oil, essential oils, on my own. And these, we're going back, you know, to the agrarian society that we came from. We can heal with these herbs that we cook with. We don't have to go to doctors most of the time. And secondly, my question was, I got a little worried when MC you were saying that you want to help people who already have businesses. I then started to think about the young people who need mentorship, because we can't take people when they are already there. We need to take them from nowhere and put them somewhere. That's the critical area where people need help. Like if we talk about rural girls, they can't just be happy because every time we go shopping, you buy a pack of pads and put it there. We need to take them out of that situation. And then we are able to help them, you know, to go on. My third thing was, does Gauteng have incubators? Because that is why our businesses fail. When you throw money at me, then I don't know what to do with it. It goes up to a certain point and nobody's mentoring. Nobody's showing direction, and this is pretty much why our businesses never go anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I just want to start years ago.
Can we please get your name, ma'am?
Hayley Eagle. Hayley Eagle from Jamsco. So 5 years ago, I saw an advert on the internet to enter into the automotive sector. And if some of you may know, it's a very, very difficult sector to enter into it. It's an initiative by government, and they have what the lady was speaking about, an incubation program. And through that program, you partnered with a tier one, you have government support, you have AID support, you have the OEM support. And that has been a fundamental growth path in my life. And I've gone from just being in that incubation program to now being a tier one supplier to an OEM. And that in itself is a very, very, very difficult achievement, because the OEMs, they want you to comply with Q1 standards. And in most cases, if you're not used to the industry, it seems like it's beyond what you can do. But as I can see with the partnership from my tier one, which is Odisha, Ford, the AIDC, government, it really is possible. So for anybody who has anything where you think that contrary to what happens, government does actually look after us. I'm living proof of that.
Oh, thank you very much. It is also very critical to share the information, for other fellow business owners so that they can be in a position, to get help. For example, in one of at Beechwood, one of the entrepreneurs basically shared information to say, women in construction, you don't have to worry, you don't have to suffer about funding, because there's an institution called SAWIC that is providing funding. So it is information like that that needs to come out so that you are able to share the information, but also to make recommendations as to how would you want us to take to support entrepreneurship going forward. So not only questions, while we welcome questions, constructive comments are also welcome. Thank you. Can we get the next speaker, please?
Okay, good morning or good day, everyone. My name is Happy Banda. I'm from Mamelodi. The reason I'm here is because maybe I'm one of them in the database for GEP. But then the challenge that I have is GEP helped me when I didn't have anything, like to do a business plan or a business profile. So they took me to that level. So my question with GEP is, since they've helped me do all those things, but I haven't go anywhere until today. So can GEP start with those on their database to see if they are helped from start to finish? Because I had a business, a running business. I had to lose my car because I was not able to fit the business. So doing the runaround and all that, the business collapsed. And even today, I don't have anything. But I'm still looking forward that GEP has other information that they can give. Thank you.
Thank you, but I think she has partly answered Umama's question to say that when the MEC made an address, he said he wants people who own businesses. What about those who do not own businesses? So she just indicated that she went to GAP assisted her to register her business, I'm sure with a business plan as well. It's just that she needs further assistance going forward. Okay. So, let me see, because so far we have 4 speakers. Let me just add to this list, only from this side, and then I will allow our panelists to come in, and then we go to the other side. Just here, any further speakers? Okay, let me see. But once I end here, this side, then I will have to come the other side. Yes. Okay. Okay, let me start. You are noted as number 1. You are noted as number 2. 3, Mama. 4, 5. Okay, let's have Ubaba for a change.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Gordon Rambulukeng. I'm representing the organization called SANACO, South African National Apex Body for Cooperatives. Yes, Mubaba, but my mother is a woman. Madam Chair, what I wanted to indicate is that, particularly, I'm reflecting particularly on what the MEC indicated when he spoke about the cooperative bank. You know, as SANACO, we're strategically positioned to say we are here, we work with people on the ground. And, you know, we appreciate the initiatives that are coming from the government, from that level, to communities. But however, another strategy that we could utilize is that nothing can be done for us without us. Because at times we're on the ground, we know the nitty-gritties and the challenges that are faced by communities that we are representing. Particularly as I'm speaking for cooperatives, some of them, they don't even use the language that I'm currently using. And some of them, they don't even have the level of literacy that you're having. So at times you find that when you're bringing your services, the service providers themselves are not at that level where they can pitch up to the levels of communities where people can understand and be able to comprehend that which the service that the government is intending to can deliver to them. And I'm saying that we are here as SANACO, strategically positioned for that matter. And let's strengthen our bonds and let's strengthen our MOUs to say we can work together in ensuring that the cooperatives are working because of we've got the resources in terms of the material, in terms of how to train and how to approach the cooperatives. I thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Carol Matovela. I am from El Shaddai Clothing, and I would like to start by thanking GEP because they assisted me with the marketing tool, and last week they assisted me with the manufacturing sewing equipment. I have a very serious and a very huge concern. Actually, that is my biggest challenge where I am standing, because what we do in El Shaddai Clothing, we are also accredited with FBM-CETA. We are doing the skills training for sewing, level 1. And at the same time, we do the production, which means all of our learners, actually, I think about 70%, we are now employing them to now start and do the production. My challenge is that I'm working from home. I went to municipality, I went to local municipality, I even went to 20 offices that they deal with the working space. And of which where I'm standing, where I'm staying, or where I'm located, I have 2 open spaces, of which I went and made an official application. And I was told that I am supposed to wait something like 2 to 3 to 4 years. It will depend. But at the same time, like now, when I'm talking like this, there are people who are now putting the checks in those spaces, and those spaces are the working spaces, are not just spaces, are working spaces, if you can see on the 20 maps. So now I need to humbly request for the economic of development, because they came also, the Gauteng economic development with Nomasonto, they came with UNO, I think it's a sewing company, the sewing machine company, to offer me more machines. However, I was not as successful in that. Why? Because of the working space. We even went to other unutilized schools, whereby they say they will see to it that at least if I am housed maybe in those unutilized schools, to see if I can get a better space, a better working space. But up until today, nothing is being done. So I have made application at 227. I'm also working with a local councillor. I'm also working with other people, because as I'm talking like this, if you go to my yard, I have employed about 40 people. I have also, I am now training about 20 people. I got the leadership for CETA. And at the same time, but now I'm having a very serious challenge, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have where I sleep, because I'm so passionate about my business. I even turned my own house into a working space, but it's not enough because I cannot access level 2 of fiber processing manufacturing for skills training, of which now is the level whereby those who are in level 1, we are now taking them out of the domestic working machines. We are putting them on industrial machine, whereby they are able now to produce for companies. I'm unable to do that. Can I please be helped? Thank you.
Timo Holo, ke tlhaga ko Krugersdorp. Ke tshogile. A ka tlala go bua mo bathong ba bangata ya. Le tla itshwarela ga ke bua Setswana.
You can go ahead, Mama.
Ko Mantsebile re na le re editse co-op re registerile last year. E le gore year before last ne ntse re etsa laundry le re etsa di-shoemaker. Re roka ditlhako tse bomme ba di ratang tse tsa setso. E be e le gore ko location le ke nnang ko lona go agilwe home based care. Ha ne e agiwa home based care ne ba nagana gore bonkgono ba tlo dula mo yona ka go ba ne ba ditle le laundry. Ba nagana gore go tlo tlhatswetsa ba tlo dula mo teng ba tlhatswetsa washing. E be re bona ka gore re na le laundry be re ya ko teng re batla gore ba re kenye ka mogare gore re tlhatswe washing tsona tse tsa bomme ba godileng le batho ba location. E be ba re ha ra tshwanna go kena ko teng re sena NGO because of ke government. Re be re lo etsa NGO e be re ya ko councilor lo bua le councilor gore re kopa gore ba re kenye mo plekeng e. Ha councilor e lo bua le di-official di gana gore kenya ko teng e le gore rona le re kopane le di-official before. E ba re bone ba kareletsa di-business plan. Ha re boela ko councilor kantine ba batla gore re ba fe tšhelete e re senang yone. So yaanong go lwaniwa gore go kenyiwa batho ba ba nang le ditšhelete mo teng. Rona ba ba senang tšhelete ga re kgone go kena. Ra boela gape ko masepala ko Krugersdorp. E ba re batle pleke mo toropong e re ka ha re ka bona pleke mo toropong e sa berekeng re tle re tlo ba bolella. Bothata ba rona ka gore re bomme ba i5 ene ba ba sa berekeng gona nong ba ile ba bereka ko di-kitchen ba boetse ko di-kitchen because of ga rena mosebetsi. E be re ya ko masepala re ba bolelela gore go tlo nna kgakala ko rona re nna ko location e be re lo etsetsa laundry ko bo toropong. So ne ke kopa MEC a re thuse ka go lo bona pleke e leng laundry e sa le agilwe ka mistake gore ba ithare basadi ba golo ba tlo nna ko teng. E dutse fela e tswetsa gona motho o berekelang mo yone. Ke a leboga.
Thank you, Mama. In that order, I pointed to you in that order, number. That Mama. Yes, number 4, please. Can we try and be short so that we can all get an opportunity to raise our concerns?
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ntabiseng Tomotomo. I come from a company called Liperine Trading. Mine is not a question, and it's more on the emphasis of my colleague in terms of quality. As much as our farmers want to comply, you find a challenge when you're approaching, let's say, Joburg market and you want to supply them. They will inform you that you cannot just plant anywhere because we find our local farmers planting anywhere and they find any soil that where things can actually grow, they deem it fertile soil and that's where they plant. But now when they go and supply, you find that the food that they are actually supplying do not meet the quality standards. So my request is to have a designated, dedicated laboratory where entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs are actually assisted, where they take the soil samples and actually test them to actually ensure that whatever they supply meet the quality standards at that practical level. My next contribution is also incorporate them in the supply chain, because in a way of enterprise development, develop the entrepreneurs, help them all the way to compliance, as well as incorporate them in the supply chain, because now the government will be secure in knowing that when they buy, they're actually buying from compliant suppliers because they have helped in that development. Another one is actually having sector-based incubation centers, because when I know most incubation centers are generic, but with sector-based, if you are doing your construction, all those NHBRCs and CITP, if you're doing your food, your health certificate and letter of that certificate of acceptability, if you can have them that detailed, then it can make sure that we have fully fledged entrepreneurs and have sector-based incubation centers. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was number 4. And then number 5?
Dumelang, ke Bebedi from Korebopani After Events Cooperative. Ke nna gape. We were a co-specialty kaofela. Then I did lodge a complaint. We were subcontractors co-projecting a 67 million Yana Lady Protea Bridge. Then even today, I totally not even a cent. So ne ke batla follow up, ke batla botsa ko MEC hore o ile a etsa the investigation ene re mo kopile hore kopa hore a re thuse even now.
So that was the last number. Now we need to cross over to the other side. We need to cross over to the other side so that we can have balanced set of concerns being raised. If time allows, we'll come back to this section, but right now I really need to come to the other side. Sanbonani nonke? Let me see by way of hands those who would like to raise our concerns abo. Okay, Ngizokala, I'll start with the first 5. You are noted. Is your hand up, ma'am? Okay, you are noted 1, you are noted 2, 3, 4, 5. Lan. Then we'll come to this section. In that order. You can start, ma'am.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Mona. I come from a company called Zao Resources. I just want to speak to the issue of enterprise development. I think my colleague that side just touched a bit on it. I have a question for MEC. Okay, I'll speak firstly in relation to the mining sector. I think it's well known that big mines, big corporates that side, it's very difficult for SMMEs like ourselves to participate in the value chain within that side. What is the MEC doing at provincial level to help, combat non-compliance by big corporates? Because there's no consequence for big corporates that don't comply with triple BE and triple PFA requirements. There's just no consequence whatsoever. Now, secondly, in terms of unbundling of contracts, is there any sort of program or, partnership, whatever, that can be, or does it exist firstly? Can it be created in order to facilitate the partnering or unbundling of big contracts in relation to small corporates or small business with big corporates, for example, in construction, in petroleum, that sort of thing. Thank you.
You are on the floor, ma'am. Number 2.
Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Wendy. I come from Undrovukazi Dream Pty. I manufacture fabrics. That will be your upholsteries and your curtains and stuff like that for households and hotels. My problem comes in terms of what most of the women said. It is more office space. The office space, I stay in Kwatema, Espringsi. I had a number of occasions where I went to the municipality to ask for workspace and they told me no. They used to have the buildings, but they had to give them out because they were not used by business owners. So there were some few offices near the CCC that was not utilized correctly due to the fact that the old government used to give the people that place to work from, and most of the businesses closed down, and then eventually the owners just locked the doors and said nobody else can utilize the space. So I found myself had to go to town to go and rent office space, in which I found to be very lovely because now it's like a mini factory. It also accommodates my machinery and stuff like that. But now my problem is, okay, because now the rent is more than what I initially expected. How do I cover that cost between the actual space that I was going to rent at the location, then the space that I'm going to rent now in town? And another thing I also want to raise is the fact that how is our municipality government helping us as our young entrepreneurs trying to make innovative ideas, to bring innovative ideas in the location, to how are they willing to support us as entrepreneurs and women? Because everywhere I go, I always get the same response, the door gets shut in your face.
Thank you. Can we then have the third speaker?
Hello, my name is Patience from Siakana Food Garden. Our garden is located in Base Valley. It's in the park, Base Valley Park. But our problem is for security. People, they come and steal the produce we produce. The vegetables, everything, even the equipment. I don't know how the municipality or government can help us because we can't even put the irrigation because people will come and steal. If they can steal vegetables, what about the irrigation equipment? We can't even produce broilers, chickens, or even layers because they will come and steal. I don't know how can you help us because we are growing, but we can't grow because they come and steal everything.
Which area is that, ma'am?
Base Valley.
Valley.
Base Valley.
Oh, Base Valley. Okay. Okay. Can we have the next speaker? Number 4.
Good morning.
Please, can we listen to one another? Order. Thank you.
My name is Sulufelo Mufugeng. I come from Bafokeng Town and Regional Planners. I'm a town planning consultant. I've been sitting here and listening, and I found out that most of the topics is basically the topic on industrial and manufacturing. I was just wondering when it comes to consulting, like professional people like myself. My company is a year old, and the main problem that I'm having right now is we are heading towards SARS turnovers and stuff like that. Now, because you are a professional, you don't have knowledge on how to do your returns, for example. So I was just wondering if the GEP has it, maybe have a workshop probably like this one, where they'll be able to teach us hands-on finances. The business is coming, which is good. But at the same time, you also need to manage the daily finances as well as the annual finances, because at the end of the day, you need to pay 40% of your income, basically. Not your income, what is it? Yes. What you have, your profit, 40% of your profit to SARS, of which in most cases, after maybe 2 years or 3 years, you find yourself that now you are starting to owe SARS instead of making your own business. So we would like help in that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanbonani, Kamala Mbongi Maputwane.
Oh, number 5, I get.
Yes.
Okay.
Mbongi Maputwane. I'm running a laundry and a dry clean services. But my concern is regarding my business partner, where I partnered with her, and she was giving a tender to go deliver a stationery at Tshwane, GEP Tshwane. And in the interim of all that, what happened is because we didn't have money, I had to put my car as a collateral to get money to buy the stationery. But unfortunately, the staff that I was dealing with at GEP dragged the payment until my car was taken. And now, my laundry and my dry clean is suffering hugely. I can't do pickups, I can't do delivery. I have to use taxis to take dry clean to Fortsburg. So how is GEP allowing staff to do that? I mean, I resigned, I bought that car with my pension fund. Where am I going to get 100,000 to go and get a bike to run my business? You tell me. I'm sorry that CEO, Uhambile, MEC, please do something about this lady, because now she refused bluntly to help me because Uti, my phone was off, because I couldn't, there was Lupiwe Mkudwa. She refused bluntly to even give umsebenzi to my business partner, of which I'm no longer talking to her because I feel I was helping her and now I'm stuffed now. I don't have a car, I can't do my business is suffering. So I need that to be taken up. Can we please be together? It is for this particular reason why our MEC has called upon this dialogue, so that we get to understand the challenges on the ground. If you didn't come here, maybe we probably wouldn't know that this is some of the challenges that you're going through. So I'm sure Gap will respond. I'll continue to take on questions. Can I please see by the way of hands those who would like to raise their concerns? I'm also going to count to 5 again. Please, can you raise your hands? Okay. So it will be, let me start that side this time. I'm going to start at the back over there. Osisi with a white jacket.
I'd like to thank them on that. But it has a problem again. When they give you a job, especially for us who have just started our businesses, we borrow money and they delay with payments. I got a tender for catering whereby I borrowed money, about 5,000. The interest of that money, they went up until I had no commission on that. I had to pay my workers with my own money. Because of the people who are working in the offices of GP, they are very lazy. Serious, they are very lazy. You call, they tell you someone is on leave. You call the other day, they tell you someone didn't sign, is on leave again. But at the end of the month, they get paid their salaries. We have to pay people salaries. It's very discouraging for us who have the small business, who are still starting. But other than that, it's very helpful. GP is very helpful. I'm on top now, I've got my own bikie. I sponsored 5 women with machines for Sparkle. They have their own businesses now. So for the women who have made it on top, also remember those who are down there, help them. Don't depend on the government. Don't depend on the government. The government can't afford all of us. Help those who are starting down there. Mentor them, give them subs. They should sub under you so that they can also learn and experience all these things.
Thank you, ma'am. Noted. Okay, can we have number 3?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamsang Mamkiane from Sawa Holdings. Sawa Holdings is a consulting company that provides business turnkey solutions. Over the last 5 years, I've engaged with institutions such as the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. And it's quite sad how things are handled by the institution, because it makes me wonder how many more small, medium enterprises have fallen through the cracks simply because they were not taken into cognizance. But now, I did not allow that to actually be an obstacle in me realizing my objectives. So as such, we have taken a decision to actually start a mechanism where we'll say we collaborate as small, medium enterprises from the townships, where we'll start education funds, we'll also start business funds and infrastructure funds. Because now, what we want to do is to be in a position where we can actually fund our own activities. Now, on the 29th and the 30th of October, we're actually launching our first trust fund. It's called the Kasi Health, Beauty and Fashion Trust Fund. So we'd like to invite all designers, all hairstylists, all makeup artists and nail technicians and bloggers and people with modeling agencies and modelers to come and join us. If you want to collaborate with us, you're more than welcome. If you want to be one of the participants, you're more than welcome. We can't keep wanting the government to do things for us. We must also remember we are the government. So we need to start taking action into our own hands. If institutions in place are failing you, don't let them get you down. Just let that be something that makes you even stronger and wiser. Thank you.
There you have it. Okay, let's get to number 4.
Dumela. Ke la ka ke Elizabeth Seakwe. Ke tswa ko rural area ko Bronkhorstspruit. Company ya rona sa le re register ka 2009. Mara re sa fumane thekgo. Ita tshwane e fetsa o kopana le rona. Ka ile gona re tla fumanang thekgo. Hobane gona GEP e kgonne go nrekela metšhini. La re sena mo re sebeletsang teng. Tulo ene re filwe ke motho. Masepala wa rona wa Kungwini go thwa o e rekisitse yaanong makgwa a re tshwene. Re ne re kgopela MEC gore a nka se re bonelele go na le pleke kwa Gauteng Road ya dihoko tsa dikgogo gore a nka se re bonelele mo go yona gore re mpe re yo berekela mo go yona gobane gona anong ka se sebaka le metšhini ya ka e dutse fela ke kgona go roka ditlhako di eng ne re phela ka tsona mariga a tswile yaanong batho ba sa di reka yaanong re kgopela MEC gore a nka se etse matsapa gore a yo bona pleke ele ya ko Clemson Road gobane go tsena batho fela ba re sa ba itseng ha re re ro checka ka osane ha e sa bereka yaanong re kgopela gore motlhomong government e nka se re thusi na re le company ke a leboga.
Mama. Okay, number 5.
Morning, everybody. I would like to thank GAP because ba re thusitse ka marketing tools, ba re thusa ka equipment. Ka equipment eo re sebeditse. Nna mo company ke na le bana ba ka ba ithuta. Ka yona equipment eo re sebeditse gagolo, re be ra reka metšhini, ra batla batho ba bang gape ra etsa co-op. Ka co-op re rekile metšhini, re rokela social development. E ke batlang go ikopa MEC ko gore a re thuse ka taba ya social development because re a roka mare tanki ha eyo ka mokgwa ba re etsang ka teng. E nngwe e ke ikopang gape ke gore bana ba disabled mo baneng ba baka ba ithuta go na le o disabled ke misitse sekolong le ene for designing and ha ba kgone go kry-a thuso ba buiwa fela gote disabled but ha ba kry thuso. Ke bua so ka gore re mo isitse gore a kry-e a driver's license ba itse ba batla lengwalo la doctor e entse ha tshwantse a kry learners ba re no o feitse ba batla lengwalo le lengwe. We had to run again re ye ko bara gore doctor meletse lengwalo a ba state gore why yena sa kry license. We ile gape last week still o feitse ene go feila ga gage ba tloga ba mo jwetsa gore wena ha re batle go kena mo trouble. So a ke trouble ya ba kena mo yone ke ya eng because le ko sekolong ha tla ya for designing ba itse ba batla lengwalo la ko doctor release it lengwalo la ko doctor o kry-ile certificate sa gagwe o kene for the whole year but yana for driver's license why a re tsebe because gone yaanong wa kgona o driver wa kgona o move it's just that o berekisa stick.
No, re thotse taba ya gago, re thotse re a leboga.
Ya boraro ne ke kopa MEC e re thuse go na le pleke bo Middlelands next to Mapedi Hall. Pleke e o re batlile ba re go tlo agiwa mall e agilwe next to police station. Gone yaanong ha re ra ya gape go kentswe ba kereke ya tente and still go santsane go na le space mare ba gana re fa sona re tsebe why.
Noted. Okay, o latelang. You are number
6.
Number 6.
Sanbonani, igama uzanele Wagansibande. I'm the founder and owner of Loguhle Trading and Projects, a wooden door manufacturing company based in Boksburg. 3 things on my side. I wanted to ask, Mrs. Manenze mentioned working in your business and working on your business, the differences. I got the privilege of going to GIBS, the Gauteng Institute of Business Science, and was taught strategy, planning, marketing, and that has helped my business quite a bit. Mangiqala company yami, I self-funded. Loguhle started in 2008. In 2012, I went into manufacturing. And when I went in, I faced a lot of challenges. The privilege of going to GIBS helped contain and sustain my company. My question is, would a GEP consider, I'm aware the cost implications of GIBS, but running a competition where the women can get the privilege of going to GIBS and the education. Secondly, we spoke about incubation. In my sector, which is the wood manufacturing sector, there is an incubator called Fentech. They are national. Please Google them. If you are in my space, Fentech is available. The question that I have, one of my customers is Builders Warehouse. Under Builders Warehouse, I was under the enterprise development. One of the cost implications, I'm still competing with one of my biggest competitors. To cut down on cost, I've said to them, can you assist me to acquire property? They said to me, look for property and we will pay for it. In fact, they wanted to build a manufacturing hub. I approached the city of Joburg Economic Development. got them in touch with Massmart, nothing happened. I've approached the city of Ekurhuleni and got them in touch with Massmart and nothing. We've got a conglomerate, a big company saying, I want to assist entrepreneurs outside of government. Give me a building that is currently not in operation, that needs to be fixed. I will pay for it, I will fix it, and I will put entrepreneurs in there. We've got economic development, City of Ekurhuleni and City of Joburg not assisting. Can we be assisted in that? The last point, when it comes to being assisted with purchase orders, most of my customers, for example, we've just been allocated 12 stores at Builders. The order comes through on Sunday, right? And you are given 2 weeks to deliver on different stores, different quantities. Now the 15 days, by the time I send my purchase orders to GEP, I'm being told about, well, the delivery date on this order, we cannot process it, ask Builders to change it. We need those systems to be relooked at, because this is a constant thing that we will be getting. We get the purchase orders on every Sunday. If you use the textbook method of assessing each and every, I mean, some of my customers are in the Northwest, I get literally a telephone call to say, I need so many doors. Can that be looked at? Can we not use just a textbook on how to assess purchase orders? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 7. Number 7.
Hi,
Please, can we have one meeting, please?
My name
Thank
is
you.
Ntswaki Padi, and I'm behind Beyond Ability Talent Solutions. In our case, we basically find jobs for persons with disabilities, but we also assist persons with disabilities who are entrepreneurs with disabilities. Basically, it's basically through access to information and also access to markets as well. So we find that large corporates will come to us seeking a particular type of a business that is owned by a person with a disability, and then we'll create that access to market. My question is mostly around justice for startups and also SMMEs as well. We've experienced those challenges as a business, but at the same time also through the businesses that we are assisting as well, specifically the entrepreneurs with disabilities. One, it's the fact that big businesses doing as it pleases with startups, and the injustice comes in a variety of ways, to a point that, and the challenge then again is that startups do not have the legal muscle. They don't afford an attorney. They don't afford legal support. Is it possible for the province, economic development, to actually assist in terms of maybe forming a mediator or an office whereby, for instance, SMMEs or startups can refer their disputes to? Because we find that, the disputes vary. They vary from order issues, they vary from payment issues, they vary from contract issues, they vary from all sorts of issues. So is it possible for the province to set up an office that deals with disputes or mediation for startups, just to actually protect startups? Then secondly, my other question also goes to ED companies. Now obviously, as a result of the BBBE Act, now we've seen a manifestation of entrepreneur ED companies, and they vary, and some of them are still learning, and you find that the person who suffers more than anything is the startups, because they're the ones who become guinea pigs in the whole process. So some of them are compliant, they know what they're doing, but you find that with others, they're just not conversant in terms of running an ED company. Then again, that's still a challenge again. Where you find that startups have been mistreated in these ED companies, who do they run to, where do they go to? I know there's the ED Council that's just been recently set up, but at the same time, I feel that from the government perspective as well, there needs to be a door where startups can run to, just to deal with all the challenges that they're experiencing within ED companies. Now, this question is directed to GEP. It goes to, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but at the same time, I just need to understand as to whether, do you have a financial support that speaks to cash flow processes or managing working capital? Because of the challenge that most entrepreneurs are facing is the fact that month end, you can't pay your staff. Month end, so you have those working capital needs. You are still awaiting invoices. By the same time, you can't even go to a bank because of even that application process still speaks to submitting all sorts of documents to a point that you are not even able to meet your monthly obligations. So under GEP, my question is to say that do we have a tool or a product that speaks to managing working capital or something to that effect? But then again, also, my other question again under GEP speaks to your turnaround times. I remember when I first came when I returned to Gauteng, I went to apply to GP because of, I had exhibitions lined up for the whole year. And this was in 2011 and 2012. And I tell you, I started at the Tucson Center in Soweto. That application process alone lasted something like 9 months. It lasted something like 9 months. I didn't even go through my exhibition plan for the year. And I was then, my application was then transferred to the GP in town. When it was transferred to the GP in town, I was told of a moratorium, which I didn't even know as to how long it will take before it reopened again. It took something like 6 months for that moratorium to be reopened. Started the process again. When I started the process again, that process just took forever. Just to deal with GP, just to get exhibition material and get support just on my exhibition, it took something like 2 years on that. And to a point that I gave up on GP. I didn't even have a point where I can escalate my issue to, because I sent an email and Museveti just, he just said, what, there isn't anything that he can do to help me. So that's just my challenge to say that with ED companies, we find that there are good support systems, but the frustrations that SMEs are facing, they don't even have anywhere where they can run to actually deal with their challenges. Thank you.
Okay. Can I please inform that I will continue to number 10. Don't worry. There are notepads, I think, circulating. Can you please write your concerns, because in the interest of time, we will not be able to allow all of you to raise your questions and concerns here, but all your concerns will be addressed. They will be addressed. So please make sure that you hand over all the papers that have been given to you with your concerns to the organizers over there. And then, having said that, I will proceed to take on number 9. Number 9? Oh, number 8, yes.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Pinky Zwani. I'm coming from Bright Future Agricultural Cooperative. I don't have many questions. I have only 2 questions. I want to know, does GEP provide 100% support to branding, or does the business have to pay a certain percentage for the branding? Because we are doing farming, we are planting spinach and okra, and then we are doing agro-processing as well. We are processing okra to do decaffeinated coffee. And then the other question, we are facing a problem in acquiring a tractor in the agricultural sector to help with debushing as we get stuck when we want to plant. And the other challenge that we got again, we do have an MOU with AgriCita to train people from community with agriculture. And so we don't have a place. And then the other thing,
you said 2. Now it's becoming 3.
No, like they are connecting.
Can
okay, okay. I said okay. Thank you.
Pleasure. Number 9.
Good day. My name is Gladys Shabalala from Crystal Events Coordinate. Mine is mainly to say thank you to GEP, and also to try and talk to our sisters and brothers in business. Guys, we need to start taking ourselves seriously. We all have challenges, we all have concerns. Like now, I've been working in my backyard garage. Now because of I have an investor, a potential investor, I need to move out of my house into a normal business office. For me, I feel that it's unfair for me to come to GEP and tell them, oopsie, I can't find storage, I can't find an office. Help me get an office. No. That is unfair for me. Mind you that they have tried to assist me with material and this and this and that, startups and this and this and that. So please, can we start checking, prioritizing on our concerns, prioritizing and taking yourself seriously? That's just my main concern. That's it.
Okay, now can we please move to the last speaker? Please make sure that you have handed over your paper, note to the organizers. I'm now going to take the last speaker so that I can finally hand over to our CEO Gap to address some of the issues raised. I would like to believe that they're not going to be answering question by question.
Hello, sis. Sorry, there's a confusion somewhere here. I was number 9. All of a sudden.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, so you are number 10, you are closing. Can you please? Okay. Let me address this way. You speak, she's going to be the last speaker, and we close.
Sanibonani nonke. Mina ngizokhuluma isiZulu and today bengisitshela ukuthi because every meeting la ngithola opportunity yokuya meetingini ngiyakhuluma. Today bengithi ngizohlala phansi ngimamele. But because ngoba ngiproducer ukudla ene ukudla I believe everybody ufuna ukudla like 3 times a day. So now mina eyami ngiyibhekisa ku MEC and I'm so fortunately today ukuthola MEC ahleli just close to me. Ngicina ukumitha naye last year eValley ngoNovember. So mina ngumama uSonto Jamela I'm from the company called Green Eagle. It's a Petfontein small holdings for Binoni. So into engiyizwe uMEC ayibuza uthe if ngizwe kahle uthe why fanele sibatshele ukuthi why ama businesses wethu angakhuli. From my point of view kweyami business ingakhulanga up until today ngisa image and kule minyaka le engirane kiyo ibusiness ifanele ngabe mhlambe ngiku commercial stage ngitetele abanye abaqala ibusiness today or yesterday but I'm still imaging. So mina into engiyibonile ebamba ama business wethu angakhuli i-mentoring like if mabakunikeza maybe i-funding or whatever eyokusiza business they don't come back bazochecka ukuthi lezi zinto abakunike zona zisesekhona awuzithengisanga yini ama problems onawo ebusinessini unayo imarket bayahamba bakumele futhi ukuthi ubuyele ema-ofisini wabo futhi uyokhala ukuthi ngine problem eso. One another thing, yes, networking it's good but network with the nabantu aba right aba good ube selective ukuthi network nabo bani because not all of us nesiku business abanye bakhona ku business but mina engikubonile kimi not everybody uku business omunye uku business because wena ukubone wenza this kind of business and she thinks ukuthi naye makangayenza maybe. And then enye into engiyibonile i-funding. Yes, i-government before it used to fund people. But that funding azange ikhulise ama-business wethu because it wasn't enough. Like mina i-GEP thanks bangifunda 2013 nge-irrigation system nama-tank ayi-2 wamanzi. Namanje isesekhona leyo irrigation system and ngisayisebenzisa. But azange ke babuye bazoyibona mina mangile kibone bayangibuza ukuthi isesekhona leya irrigation ngithi mina yes. What if ayisekho ngithengisile? Why bangezi bazochecka ukuthi le business yami why ingakhuli ngoba babengifundile phela. Which means that 10,000 ababengifande ngayo it's not enough. Mina ngine market ne. I've got the market for ukudla mina, but now ngiyashota ne. Ngishota nge-pack house. So mina anginayo imali yokuthenga i-pack house ngoba mina ngiyazenzela on my own. Ngicala ngokuqasha i-tractor ne izolima and i-tractor per hour ne mayilimela it's 400 rand ne. Ngithenge ama-fertilizer on my own ne. Ngapha ngipampa amanzi. Ngithenga i-electricity. Ngithenge ama-seedlings or ama-seeds. Ngihayarishe abantu as ngincedisa i-government angithi ukwenza i-job creation. Ngihire abantu, those people ngiyababhadala. So mina I still need help from the government ne.
Sizwile mama.
Ngishoda nge-pack house kakhulu.
Okay, Sizwile. Sizocela ke last speaker. Ungakhathazeki if you did not have time to raise your concerns here. We are also on Twitter, so you'll be able to raise your issues there.
Thank you. I'm Rumbi Munowani. I own a travel management company, but I'm also very involved with, I'm a social entrepreneur with a foundation called Africa Arise. And for me, I think it's just saying to you guys, finding out what the practical strategy is. You mentioned the fact that you've got township entrepreneurship, and us being very involved in those townships believe that the government is not in those areas as practically as they should be. Just from a supporting women in general, as you know, empowering a woman, you are empowering a nation. So for us, it's actually saying, could you create platforms where you can actually actively go into those communities and identify women such as the ones that are sitting here. But again, taking it a step further in that, you're actually then looking where there's synergies, which I assume we can all do on our own. However, we find that in such setups, those synergies cannot actually happen. So it's actually going to the stage where you're creating those platforms. Mentorship is definitely lacking. Our organization actually, we're offering our services to you and saying, can we work with these women and actually support them from a mentorship perspective and ensure that they get their businesses up and running sustainably. You talk about manufacturing and all of that. There are people in these townships that are producing stuff, but they're actually not even known because they're not able to come to platforms such as these. We are those hands, the feet, and the voice in those communities, and we want to make ourselves available and work with you and partner with you in that regard. Thank you.
I think you need to give yourselves a round of applause. All of us, can you please do so? For being a well-behaved team throughout. I'm just now going to hand over. So like I said, that if you did not have the opportunity to say something, there are different platforms in which you can reach us. If you look at the screen there, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, on YouTube. Please go through those channels to be able to communicate with us. Again, papers were circulated, paper notes were circulated. Please make sure that you also raise your concerns and make sure that they are collected by our organizers. So by so saying from me, let me allow, as I've indicated, that your questions are not going to be answered per question. I'm just going to start by giving an opportunity to CEO, acting CEO, WEGAP, Miss Leah, just to be able to address you on some of the questions. And then I will then allow our CC, OCC, okay, and then I'll finally hand over to our MEC to, give us a close-out remarks as well as giving us a direction as to going forward, what is then going to happen. But thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Is it on? Okay. I think maybe let me start by acknowledging, I think one of the things I did during my presentation was to acknowledge that GEP has always been criticized for being non-responsive. And this is something that we are currently working on. You would note that we also announced that we now have established a call center that is meant to deal with some of the challenges that you have, with an escalation of an email that we've also set up that is based in the office of the CEO, where inquiries then get special attention after you've received your reference number. And we are encouraged when we start hearing people naming and shaming, because we cannot paint everybody the same. There's people within the house today that have said they've received good support from GEP, and there's those that did not receive such good service from our staff. And it's important that we know who are those people that are bringing us down, because we really are trying to change the culture and get people to be more responsive and understand the role that they play and the importance of the job that you guys are doing in helping us with job creation. So I'd like to then go back to that to say, please send us those emails, raise your queries on that GP enquiries@gp.co.za. List those people, name and shame, because it's important that we know who we're dealing with specifically. The issue around the car that was, the bank took back, etc., we have started dealing with that. I'm sure somebody from my office has already come to the lady to tell you that we've already met with your business partner. There's a process that we have started looking at. We know that, especially with the name that you've given us, the engagements have started, so we will be able to engage with you directly and resolve those issues. The issue around economic infrastructure, I think everybody's raising the same concerns. Where do they operate from? And this is something that we already knew about when we did, the MEC was leading the Township Economic Revitalization Roadshows. That was in 2014. One of the things that we are addressing relates to economic infrastructure, and that is why we are in the process of upgrading a whole lot of industrial hubs so that we can make space available and accommodate a lot of businesses. But private sector also affords space to businesses. APSA, for example, I know they do allow businesses to come and work in their offices in Newtown. All of these private sector have space that they make available, and it's important that as a business person, you start looking around and Googling and see where else are the opportunities. Government can only create a conducive environment, but will never be able to address everybody's problem. And I think it's important to understand that. And the issue about funding, we did indicate we do not have sufficient funding to fund everybody. If I must tell you now, we're sitting with application that requires around 980 million. We just don't have the money. And it means those people are going to have to wait for a long time, but we have a responsibility to respond and tell those people that we are looking at partners, but we cannot fund everybody. And one of the products that I did indicate when I started, when I spoke about the sustainability of our entrepreneurs, I spoke about the quality, and I spoke about the hand-holding and the bankability. And part of that includes making sure that people get SABS accreditation. We've got examples of that. There's a project called Casamia, the MEC was launching. It's a ready-made pub. Those people needed accreditation for them to start selling that ready-made pub, and for anybody to trust that there is quality, including ISO 9001. So we do offer that as a product. It's called project preparation, because we understand, like I said, we get you bankable because we know nobody will invest unless there's quality and there's accreditation. So people who've come to us about automotive and whatever, they will know the first thing that we start working with them on is making sure that they get accredited by insurers so that they can be able to be trusted when they go and try and sell their services elsewhere. Okay.
I mean, I'm just going to make one comment. I haven't heard young people talking about coming from cooperatives. And I just want to encourage you that you need to really think about establishment of cooperatives amongst yourselves. Because what cooperatives really does is that it allows you as a group to share skills, meaning that you are a team of 5 young or 6 people who have diverse skills. That's the first thing. So it means that from an operational cost perspective is that you reduce your cost. And the second issue is that whatever you're putting up together as the team or a cooperative, then you're able to share the cost, but as well as in between yourselves, you're able to allocate tasks and ensure that your business moves from A to B, etc. And I know that sometimes when we think about cooperatives, it's assumed that it's only older women who need to set up cooperatives. I mean, today, countries that have strong economies in Europe, I mean, Germany, for example, is built on the back of cooperatives, particularly in the agricultural sector, which is a labor-intensive sector, including manufacturing. So in essence, I really want, I mean, because I think that's one issue with all the questions that were coming up from the floor. Young people are not saying, we're setting ourselves up, but as cooperative, this is what we, and when you want to build an economy from the bottom, cooperation is very critical. And when you have cooperatives within the township, it will actually make your life a little easier. And that's when, as Emis was saying, that's when you would see that townships are becoming much more productive than becoming much more consumption centers. Thank you.
From me, I would like to direct this, comment to the lady who was talking that side. Ma'am, I would like to, earlier on I spoke about innovation. We always need to have innovations and actually revise and revitalize our corporate business plan to address any potential threats from disruptive innovators. Uber right now is coming with food services and airbed. Those who are in the accommodation, space, you need to be innovative. You need to look after your businesses every day. Just think when you wake up in the morning, think about how you can, improve your businesses, because Uber is just around the corner. They are coming with airbed and food, services. And on my way to the ladies, I bumped on one of the youngest, entrepreneur. Her name, she said her name is Ntlantla. Is she here? Ntlantla, are you still here? She asked me a very important question. She asked me, she said to me, Ma'am, what are our expectations out of this breakfast networking session? I don't know whether I should answer. I should answer her. But Ntlantla, I think the expectations out of this networking session this morning is a radical economic transformation in the mainstream economy for Black women-owned SMMEs to share equally in economic beneficiation. And then we also need to participate actively in the industrialization of Gauteng province and participate on a global basis via expansion of the international market share. And I've got another answer for you, Ntlantla. I prepared some answers. We also need to take the lead in Africa's new industrial revolution to be proudly South African, manufactured goods and services by Africans, for Africans, and for export to the industrialized nation. Those are my answers to the youngest entrepreneur I met this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all my panelists. I would like to believe that you are also going to use this as an opportunity to network amongst yourselves and also to network with us. And I would also like to believe that we managed as policymakers to gather, I think, sufficient information in terms of getting to understand what your challenges are. But let me not say a lot. Let me give this opportunity to our MEC to also make his own reflection on the concerns that have been raised on the floor. Thank you, MEC.
Thanks a lot. I prefer having this here because I want to use my hands as well to think. thank you very much for the feedback. And, you know, as you speak, and every time when I interact with entrepreneurs, I always come to the same conclusion, that you see, entrepreneurship is not easy. To run a business is not easy. And it shouldn't be easy. And if you decide to start a business, you must know that there are inherent and associated problems that comes with running a business. And one of those is that you must have finance, and you must employ people, and at the end of the month, those people must be paid. Whether end of the month or end of the week, they must be paid their salary. And they don't care whether you are a good boss or not. Whether you give them hugs every day when you come to work, at the end of the month, they change until they get their money. So you must know that those are problems that comes with being an entrepreneur. It's like someone who owns a house. You can't have a problem with water bill or electricity if you don't have a house. So if you have a house, you must expect that you must pay for electricity, you must pay for water, you must at some point maintain the house. So you can't complain that, no, I must pay for electricity, I must pay. People who don't want to pay for water and electricity, they don't want houses. They stay with their parents until they are very old. Some of them, because they just don't want those problems. Say, at the end of the month, I don't want to be paid. So I don't want to meet an entrepreneur who complains and say, you know, I had to use my money. This is your business. Whose money must you use? So that right there, there's a problem of mentality. To believe that, no, for me to have a business, government must give me money. It's a very, very, very sad. There's I think we need to have we must do a lot of work on the mentality of our people. Because everything is about government, give this, give that, and all that. And I don't have a problem with government having to help, because I also always tell our people, you know, if you look at the government budget, I think now it's sitting at 1.3 trillion rands. Government budget, national, what's 1.3 trillion rands. I think with about 300 million being being borrowed. So we need 1.3 trillion, but we could not collect 1.3 trillion. And about 500 billion of that goes to salaries in government. And then there's few other billions that goes to education. I think about 150 billion, if I'm not mistaken, that goes to education, and then you've got another 100 billion that goes to social grants and all. So you can do your maths, or start deducting. So it means, and then there's money for houses, then we must build roads, and we don't like e-tolls, so it means government shouldn't toll the roads anymore. It must find money from that 1.3 trillion rands and all that. So these are the problems we are faced with in government. So we will not complain that we've got this problem, because we are in government. We must find a way of balancing and resolving these issues. But the truth of the matter is that there will never be enough money from government to finance all of you. And this is why what I said to GP, I don't want the mandate that I've given to the acting CEO and the board. I don't want a GEP that will, it's not possible that it will fund everybody. But I don't want the GP, there's somebody who was telling her story, 2 years trying to just get help. That can't be right. If we can't help you, why must we wait for 2 years to tell you just that we can't help you? For 2 years. Because we're raising your hopes, and you stop looking at other things and all that. So I want the GP that if we can't help you, we must tell you we can't help you. Because I know there are people who don't accept that answer. There's one mad guy, I think he's got the same surname as mine. No, I don't know if he's here. He's mad. Because he thought, no, because we've got the same surname, when he goes to GP, they must give him money. And I don't know how you got my email, because I don't even know you. so we are not related. So he was threatening everybody there at GP because he wants them to give him money. And I told him that for the same reason that we've got the same surname, they shouldn't be giving him money. And I think, because the next thing I'll be in papers claiming, being accused that my cousin, I don't even know this person. And if it goes to the papers and I say I don't know this person, people say, and I've started politicians lying. They've got the same surname and all that. So I'd rather have people coming to me saying GP has not given us money because they say they don't have it. Well, they don't have it. Where should they get it? They must get it from government. If government has allocated a certain amount, that's what they have. So that's why I want us to think differently and say, how do we, I mean, I like the idea. Where's the guy who was talking about? Yeah, you see, the problem is your preface. It's like we're doing this thing because government is not helping, so we're doing it. The initiative is good. You should have long done it. Don't do it because government is not doing it. That's not the right attitude. But I like the idea of creating your own funds, creating our own funds and raising money. In fact, what we are doing now, I gave now the GP new mandate. I said I'm going to raise 100 million because we don't have a lot of money. I'm going to raise 100 million, and that 100 million, I want to use it as a facilitation fund. So everybody here who says they want money, want to agree with the banks that no, we will take you to the banks because our people don't want to go to the banks. They don't want to, you know, GP has been owed more than 100 million, I think now. You know why they don't want to go to the banks? Because the banks don't play. You don't pay them, they will repossess, they will take you to task. What with GEP, you will phone the MEC or phone the Premier, you will march, you will do all sorts of things and all that. So if we want to do a business right, we must fund, because we'll take you to some of the government funding agencies, national, like your IDC, they fund big projects, NEF, but they will never have enough money as well. So with this fund that I want to create is to then facilitate, because when you go to the banks, most of you might not qualify because the banks will say you don't have collateral, you don't have this and that. That's where GP will then come in. You want 20 million, they want 2 million, GP will come and say to the bank, there's the 2 million, borrow them the 20 million, so that you can be able to do business just like that. So the issue of funding would want us to deal with it differently. But at the center, it is the entrepreneurs who must be at the forefront of thinking about how to raise money. Because when you develop an idea of starting a business, you must also think about the sustainability of that business and whether it can go, so that you don't go to business for the sake of going to business. At least if I can have a company. Don't be like the people you meet who says, hey man, help us. And when you ask, what help do you need? He just says, no, just give us anything, Jela, pretend and he's going outside toilet. And you say you're in business, you can't. So you've got some of our people doing that. And sometimes it's because of unemployment and poverty. You can't blame people that much. But when you are in business, at least you are an entrepreneur. You must know that firstly, this is, you should have researched at least. And you know, with manufacturing, you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong with manufacturing. The most important thing is the market access. If you go to DRC, Angola, Botswana, any flight, any day, most people who are in those flights are South Africans. Because these countries are dependent on us for a whole range of products and goods. The only difference is that these South Africans are white and male in most cases. And we have opened these opportunities as this government. And that is because we want to, sometimes our people want to remain, do business. That's why you've got this thing of people saying, no, we don't want people outside our location to come and do business here and all that. You think if you're doing business in your own space, will you grow and succeed? No, it's not. Business doesn't work that way. So that's why I said there's a lot of things we must work on in terms of the mentality of our people. Because once, it doesn't matter how much money we can put and give people, but if the mentality is not right, we will not be able. And I was happy when the lady says she has been able to go to GIBS. Well, I'll tell you, we won't pay for GIBS. That I'll tell you, we won't do. But you see, what is important with what you have said for me, and because the reason we won't pay was, I know sometimes when you say no, when you're an entrepreneur, you must pay this. People say, but we don't have money. But I'll come to that issue. You know, to be an entrepreneur as well, you must be educated. And being educated, I don't necessarily mean going to school and getting a degree and all that. But you must be educated. Because you can't be in an industry that you don't understand. You can't go into an industry that you don't understand. So you must be educated about your own industry, first and foremost. And you must be educated about business. Because one of the reasons why our entrepreneurs don't succeed, some of them, not all, is because people don't take time to try and understand their industry, to try and understand what it means to run a business. Because if you get retrenched today, you start a business and you think you are secured. And that's not the case, because sometimes it takes long. And sometimes the problem is this hand to mouth. You see, I meet a lot of people, yeah, you just gave me machines, thank you very much. And I like what one lady said there. You gave me the machine, thank you very much, but now I need a space to operate. No, I like what the lady says. I mean, there's a President Thabo Mbeki was narrating a story about an imbizo he went to address. And there was this old man who stood up in the meeting and thanked the president. Thank you, Mr. President. The government has built me a house. But now the problem is that my windows are broken. So now the government must fix the windows. And it's the same. You can't say, the reason we gave you the machine, it's so that you make money. Don't take that money and buy food. Yes, you see, separate business from personal. You can't run it business. That's the other problem. Sometimes we run our businesses like there is no separation. How can I 200 rand, 50 rand or a share? Yes, it's important. Unfortunately, we are poor. But you see, we can't be in business to perpetuate that poverty. And I always tell people when you go that I don't want people to say, "Hanga tola ya road to fair," or "Ya milimi." You shouldn't be in business if you are a child abroad to fail. You should be in business because you want to be a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire. And to become a millionaire and a billionaire, it's not easy, it's very tough. Ask any millionaire, they will tell you how they've been able to make it and how difficult it has been for them. And it means you must sacrifice a lot. You might have to sell your car, unfortunately, and you might end up having to, when you make 1,000 rands, you just take a salary from that 1,000, which is 100 rands. You know, you can't just wake up and decide that today I'm going to Cape Town, and you take from your business. You wake up and decide today I want to entertain my friends. I'm just throwing a party. You take from business. And when it's not working, you come back to government. No, but remember, you gave me a machine, but my first question is, how much are you making? How much money have you saved? Now when you come back to us, so that you can be able to take your business to the next level. And you can't tell me that you don't have the money when you are saying you are already in business. And I want that lady, because I'm not talking to issue this. I'm not following my notes, but the same lady who's in manufacturing, I forgot the name. I have it here. When you were saying there's a company that wants to renovate, it's a good thing. We are interested. In fact, we will work with you. You will just have to give us your details so that we follow up when this meeting ends. We'll get GP to do that. I just hope, because you see, sometimes I know these things sounds good. You know, the big guys come, want to help. But when you find that when they get there, they just want us to give them a government property for free. We are not going to do that. We are not going to do that. Because will definitely take you on your offer, help you. And I don't know if you've got people from DID here. I saw, Tebogo is here, yes. Tebogo Mampani works for DID, Department of Infrastructure Development. I'm sure you know, Tebza, that Premier has said in the properties that we own as government. Okay, firstly, those of you who are in property, there's opportunities. We're selling about 5,000 of our government houses. Some of them are in Rosebank, Sandton. There will be an online auction. So start raising money, buy and go and sell. Those of you who are in property. Because we don't need government to be having houses. Some of them, we don't even know where they are. Some people are staying there, they are not paying. But there are instances where there's, for instance, schools which are not longer in use. And we said some of those schools, we can convert them to make them working spaces for our people. We've got some government-owned factories, especially owned by SIFA. Some of them have been hijacked. There are people who are there, they are not paying. So we are interested in helping with the issue of space because it's a big, big issue. And especially for a young woman who's in manufacturing, I'm particularly interested, acting CEO, to make sure, because she's manufacturing doors. And I'm happy that you are supplying a builder's warehouse. We build schools and hospitals, and we don't know where these doors are coming from. You must be one of the people who help us to supply the doors. Obviously, there are processes in government, so you must not say tomorrow, I promised you that you are going to produce the doors. But you must be one of the people that, because every day we build schools and we build hospitals, we spend billions of money. That's where we want you guys to, because we want to know who's giving us this, bricks, who's giving us window frames and doors and all that. That's what we want to make sure that happens. So start looking at business from that perspective of manufacturing, because there are opportunities. Every year government spends money, but you know what happens? We come, we get the business, meaning we, yourselves. But because you don't have the capacity, you still go back to white-owned businesses and you buy from them, they become your supplier. That is the problem. That's why we want you, if you are in the doors business, you want to look at the value chain. What are the components that goes into making a door? And where do you buy? Because if everything that you use to put the door together, you buy it from a white man, it's still the same, not helping us. You must then say, how do we develop somebody who will supply you with the other components and all that. I hear everybody saying, if you want money, it must be in 24 hours or a few hours. It's not going to be possible. And I'm not going to demand that from GP because this is not our money. So you don't just sit and decide that, no, I like this order, so we'll give you money in 24 hours. It doesn't know, it's government money. The next thing will be accused of stealing that money. That is why there must be processes in government. So we are not going to give you money in 24 hours or 48. There must be a process. But I agree with you. It mustn't take 14 days. I agree with you. 14 days, it's a lot of time. Let's find a way of reducing the days. But it will not be in 3 hours. On a Sunday, somebody sitting at the comfort of a house, you send them a message and say, I won't pay 100,000 anymore, as if it's your money. Check the government. It's not going to work like that. We must keep this money, your government, and the next thing, about challenge and all that. But how we battle in 3 hours. And just ask yourself, if they can give you in 3 hours, it should be scary. You must just ask yourself, how else are they doing? So, in conclusion, there were issues around agriculture. I think we're interested. And I'm happy. So, we are not going to feel We are not going to feel guilty for people using their own money. You must use your money, and I'm happy. But I want you as well to give Umam Dalil your details, because I'm interested. Because who and Uma Malana, Usis Lana, then Boguno Mama Futi. Not listening out fair, Ona limbe or Nanimo somewhere. But it's fine, give the details to Dalil. I'm interested. Who says who owner or meola na remurekezi mchini, remurekezi irrigation, mara array, yakumula utasigu, uwe, interested. Now going interested. Ngelunike Umam Dalil ama details because uthi asizi, no sizoza, sizathumela abantu, siyajabula mawufuna ukuthi size, yabona. Kuyabonisa ukuthi uzimisele. But we must also see ukuthi into ezifana nama seeds, ama fertilizers. If siyakhona ukukusiza through agriculture sizakusiza lapho. So if unika Umam Dalil uzakuhlanganisa nabantu base agriculture. Are the people from agriculture here? But you are from agriculture department. No, I mean the department. You are from the department of agriculture. Oh, okay. I wanted people from there. I don't know why they're not here. And you see, your story is encouraging. AID is a government agency. It's our agency. So sometimes people say government and AIDC. Just say government, the AIDC, and we need to have more and more. Because sometimes when things go well, we don't say it's government. We want to say it's somebody helped me. When things don't go well, this government is not delivering. So it must be government throughout, during good and bad times. And everyone can partake in the township economy revitalization. Someone was asking a question here. Everyone can partake. And then you have, yes, Machoba. Yes, ma'am. There are opportunities. In fact, if you give talent, it will link you with people from agriculture. One of the departments I'm actually responsible for 2 departments. It's agriculture and environment in the province. There are a lot of those. But sometimes people want to have their own land. You won't get it. You know, we've got 2,000 people who benefited from government land program. And none of those farms are effectively utilized. And yet everybody says, I want to farm, give me land. So my first issue is, let's link you with some of these people and you can start farming already there and take it from there. And there was who wants GP to deal with those in the database only.